Say you did the remote start, but you realize, oh shoot, we're not leaving for another hour and a half because we're at a wedding of someone who I don't like. Well, what do? Press the start button. Boom. And I'm not about to stand out here for 30 minutes to see if this thing shuts off in 30 minutes or 15 minutes. I read the manual, it's in the manual, and I have faith. Alright, what's up? So we are out here today on this very hot day. We are taking a look at and talking about the 2024 Buick Envista. That's my car. Bought that back in October. Overall, very satisfied with the vehicle. It's nice, smooth overall, enough power, and of course, it was economical for a premium feature set. The only thing is, there's a couple things that the dealership did not inform me about. Neither the dealership, the websites, or the salesperson. So Buick, you gotta do a better job with your salespeople and with your dealerships. That being said, I know about them now, and I want to tell you all about it. Right, as we see here, we are in the back of the 2024 Buick Envista. We are looking at the cargo space. Overall cargo space on the Buick Envista is pretty darn good. It's not the best in class, it's definitely not the worst. But, as mentioned, we are talking about some things that the dealership did not tell me about. Things that, as an owner, you probably do want to know. So here on the Envista, you have this nice cargo cover. It is a rigid cover, and it does a really good job of, well, covering your cargo. Well, obviously you can't see here. Long story short, when this door is closed, you can't see any of the cargo underneath it. And you can use it as a kind of a shelf. But what happens when you have something that's a little bit taller? This guy is gonna be in the way. So what are you gonna do? Well, a lot of people are probably just gonna pop it out here like this. Pull it out. Bring it with us into the garage. Bring it over here outside of the vehicle. And away we go. So yeah, if that's what you've been doing, no worries. I've been doing that myself. I've seen a lot of people do it. You don't have to store it outside of the vehicle unless you need to pull the seats down. Then you're kind of SOL, then you got to do what I just did. This is all you got to do. We've removed it from the top hatch and it's sitting right here. We can move it freely. Whatever should we do? Do this. Pop it up like this. Move that here. Put that there. Same deal here. So we have it like this. Now what do? Just let it drop. And as we now see here, the cover is still here in the trunk, but it is now out of the way of your cargo. So feel free to stick something a little bit taller. Before, you could only go up to this high. Now you can kind of go up to this high. So a little trick and tip that not a lot of people know about. So if you haven't been doing that, now you know, use that feature. Oddly enough, I did not find that mentioned in the manual, but I might have missed it. So if you found it in the manual and it's there, let me know what page it's on. If we continue to look here in the cargo area, we see this nice floor, very rigid. It's gonna hold what you can put on top of it for the most part. Don't be stupid about it and put like a bunch of concrete bricks or anything like that. Then you're gonna break it and then that's on you. Now there's a compartment underneath here that has the spare tire and you can actually use it to store other items, you know, that you kind of maybe wanna hide a little bit more. And boom, you could totally stick like something in there, I don't know, a PlayStation, Xbox, something like that. But if you let go here, it just falls. You gotta hold it, put stuff in. And this is in the manual, but not a lot of people know about it. There are these notches here and here, where all you gotta do is pull it, let it slide, let it go in, and boom. This thing holds up all on its own. Now, in this cargo space, there is another thing that I never noticed, but it is actually mentioned in the manual. This right here. As you see here, this is not set. You can actually pop this thing out here. Say you have something that's super long that you want to put inside this hidden area. So right there, or maybe you just want to have some sort of like a drop box and like throw stuff in there so it goes into your hidden cargo area. You can do that. People would be none the wiser. So yeah, if you have a need to use that, definitely use it. I don't really foresee myself using it, but it's good to know that it's there when I need it. Alright, so that's pretty much it in terms of cargo hacks. However, there is one thing in here that you need to know about that is in the manual, but how many of y'all read the manual? So you probably don't know about it. It is hot today. So, situation. You ran out of gas. You were trying to test how good of gas mileage you got. It didn't work out. You're now stuck on the side of the road. You got a gas can, but this is a capless filler. You kind of got to press down into this to get it to work. But the nozzle on your gas can is way too big. It's not going to fit there. It's not going to push that door open. So what do? Buick's got you covered. They actually included a filter, a funnel filter. So it's here with the spare tire. Pull this guy up, and it's right here. Pop in there, and then it's much larger than the original hole. So now you should be able to put your nozzle there or another funnel, but you should be able to really just stick your nozzle in there and fill up your car. Make sure you are aware of that, because if you ever need to fill with a gas can, it might come in very, very, very handy. Otherwise, you're going to lose a lot of gas when you fill this thing up. All right, next situation. For whatever reason, your car is locked and it's got no power. It doesn't have power to unlock the door locks. Whatever should you do? All these cars that have the electronic door locks nowadays that don't have a key readily available, they do have a key readily available. It's here in your key fob. Here on the Buick, you have this switch on the back of your key that when you press it, it separates the key fob from the actual key. What this does, this lets you at least open the door manually through the key locks. Now I'm not gonna pop off the cylinder lock cover because it's a pain to get on and off, but it's right here. This little plastic piece pops off, and as you see here, there is a cylinder lock right there that this key will fit in, and then you can open your doors manually even though you don't have power. And lastly, the last thing I want to cover is the remote start system. I've always found that they come in clutch, especially on a hot day like this. Although it's not helping right now because I'm not in the car, but nevertheless. So all of you should know this. Although from what I've seen on the forums, Buick owners, I actually would not be surprised if your dealership or your salesperson did not show you how to do this. But to do your remote start, if equipped, lock the little circle button. Vehicle is now started. It only continues to run for 15 minutes. Now, why in the hell would you have to run it for more than 15 minutes off a remote start? I don't know, but you do you. It's all good. You can extend it one time only for 15 additional minutes. So you could stack on the 15 minutes that I have right now and stack another 15 minutes for a total remote start runtime of 30 minutes. That's 30 minutes. How do you do that? You do the cycle again. You hit start, then you hit that remote start button, and then from what I can see, it doesn't actually have any sort of visual or audible cues, so you have to have faith. And I'm not about to stand out here for 30 minutes to see if this thing shuts off in 30 minutes or 15 minutes. I read the manual, it's in the manual, and I have faith. Now, say you did the remote start, but you realize, oh shoot, we're not leaving for another hour and a half because we're at a wedding of someone who I don't like. Well, what do? Well, you could always walk over to the car, get in, turn it off. Or you can turn it off here from your remote. How do you do that? Press the start button. Boom. That's how you do it. Now, if I did the other part correctly, it should not restart again when I do a remote start. See, so that is a sign that it did take that 15-minute extension when I hit the lock and the remote start button again, because on GM vehicles at least, you can only do the remote start cycle twice. And if you do an extension, that counts as a second remote start cycle. So because it did not start again, that means I have used up my 2 or extended at least once for 30 minutes. But as you saw, you are able to remote start and remote shut down. Not a lot of people know that in terms of how to turn the remote start off or to cancel it. So now, hopefully you do. All right, and that's pretty much it. It is hot as hell outside, so I'm inside my 2024 Buick Envista. Hopefully you can hear me. If you can't, my apologies, read my lips. This is an overall great car. It's not perfect by any means, and I'm going to be making some videos as to some of the issues that I am currently experienced with the vehicle. For an economical Buick, I am overall very satisfied, and I'm just hoping that Buick or General Motors customer service can live up to the vehicle and do it justice. It's got rattles, you know, it is a sub $30,000 vehicle. They had to make some compromises, and they compromised with plastic, and plastic, especially when in hot climates, kind of moves and constricts, and it makes rattles very, 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 very annoying. And I'm working with GM through X, Facebook, calling the dealership. and we shall see how it goes. But yeah, just a quick video with a couple of tips and tricks that you may or you may not be aware of. I wasn't aware of all of them, but I read my manual today. 2024 Buick Envista. Definitely give it a look if you are looking for a sub $30,000 entry-level premium vehicle. And with that, catch you all on the flip.